All right, so I'm a little bit late, so we're gonna be really short and sweet here, I think. I think I might get Gabby to drive. I'm on my way out to dinner with some friends at some really exclusive place, apparently. Pretty excited about it. But I had a killer day and just been knocking things out for this ebook that's going to be a bestseller on Amazon, so getting everything ready for that. What's up, brother? Hey, you got it. All right, sorry about that. I got a little ritual that I do. It's pretty nice here. And today has been stellar. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
I just want to...
Later.
I'll get you when you come
Yeah,
back.
thank you. So, yeah, we're going out to dinner. Been a stellar day. We got actually an interview today for Entrepreneur.com. So that was kind of cool. I don't know what's going to come of it. You never know what's going to come of it, but it's cool to be getting reached out about those types of things. And there should be more light in here. Where is that button? There it is. That doesn't help anything. All right, so I'm going to turn up the light for you guys, tell you what's going down here. Is that better? You can see me a little bit? So I don't know who's joined right now. Today was like a really impactful day. I made several videos that you guys will be seeing shortly about the book, the upcoming course, wrote content for 2 new websites. I think I got a solidified name for my course, which I can't wait to tell you about. But what I really wanted to jump on here and talk to you a little bit about is how exciting life can be and how quickly it can change. And no matter where you're at, there are places that you can go, like whatever you want to do, if you actually put it down and start making those types of decisions. So I don't know where you're at right now. If you want to comment here, I'll definitely jump in with you on that. But I know like where I'm going, where I'm at right now, where I've been, and I've been thinking so much about really what drove me to create this book, to create Evolve Life, to create the Millionaire Course, and create this goal. Because there was a big time where I was like just getting knocked down constantly, and no matter what I tried to do to find success, and no matter who I asked, it was like nobody would help me. And there's a little bit of a weird thing before you start making money. Like that first million is the hardest million, and there's a reason for that. There's a lot of reasons for that. But before you start making money, it's like hard to get in touch with people that have done it successfully. They really put their guard up. A lot of times they don't want to spend time with you, and that's what the experience I had. So maybe you have something totally different. And when I was first starting out, it was like every time I went to somebody, it was like the door got slammed in my face. And there were so many times I was deflated and kind of beat up. And what I did was I turned to friends and family and people in my immediate circle, thinking that was going to be like that thing that helped me. And what happens a lot of times, unless your friends have gotten that level of success or more success than you have, usually they're kind of stuck where they're at. So they can't see the opportunities that somebody who wants more can start to see. And that's all you have to do is actually want more. And then you can start to see opportunities that previously would have looked like complete like challenges or problems or chaos or whatever you want to put. Because that's definitely happened to me before I was able to make the switch. Things seemed like they were going to be harder to do based on my circumstances in my life. But all the issues, actually the more issues that you have in your life, the more opportunity for success you have, because the moment you can start to see those issues, those challenges, those obstacles, that was a bump. Surprise. The more you can see those bumps, the more you can realize that there's opportunity in every single one of those problems that you're facing. But it's a switch in your mindset to start to reframe, like, how do I solve this problem? Like the biggest products out there, like this iPhone that I'm on right now, it was made to solve a problem. It was made to connect people. It was made to make using the phone easier to do. And then all of a sudden it spawned into so many more things, like a way to listen to music anywhere you go, a way to connect you with your friends and family no matter where you're at, so you never have to worry about your children or any of those things, because you can always have a line to them. And before that existed, that was a big problem. Like cell phones were pretty cumbersome and they could very limited to what they could do. Like right now, the cell phone app on the phone is the least used app. Like most people don't use their cell phone to actually even have conversations. So this is why I drive normally. There's my beautiful wife cruising along, who's now got the car in manual, but she doesn't know that. These fancy cars.
it just does it sometimes by itself.
Oh man. So, you know, that's really kind of the ticket is you've got to make that shift for yourself and start to see, okay, where are my challenges? Where are the problems that I see in the world? And what a lot of times we do is we live in those problems and then we end up not ever solving them. We talk about them. We might talk about solving them. We usually gripe about them and like complain about it. And then all of a sudden a switch happens. Like, you know what? I'm going to do something about that. I'm actually going to make a choice to be in action, to be intentional about things. And once you start being in action and intentional about things, things change rapidly. So I'm going to just check in with comments here. Dory, absolutely my pleasure to share. It's my honor to share. You know, the reason I was getting to, but I think I got a little sidetracked there, that I wanted to do this was because it was so difficult for me at first and nobody would help me. And I made a pact to myself that when I figured out how to make millions and transform my life and create like one where, I mean, I basically retired or was retirable when I was before I was 30 years old. Like that's when I was like, you know what? I don't need to work anymore. I'm gonna take a break from this thing. I'm retired. I've arrived. It took a little while, but then I realized that, you know what, there's not a whole lot of fulfillment in that retirement. And I remembered back to this oath that I created. And I started working on it back then. Well, I won't give you, well, I think it was around 2009-ish. I started working on the first book. And I got caught up in the party scene in Miami and I lost myself. So, you know, now I'm back on track and I've created several businesses since, all of which have been really, really fun, really enlightening, and created some great community and been able to do some amazing things with them. Some of them very successful, other ones, well, some of them very financially successful, all of them successful in some way or shape or form. And some of them, the jury's still out, right? But the difference between when I was successful and when I wasn't successful was whether or not I followed this formula that I had actually created. Immediately after I sold my first business, I started putting all this stuff down, and then I just didn't follow it. I kind of was like, I was lazy. I had an ego. I had the money. I didn't care. Like, I didn't have a need. So I didn't have the problem to overcome. So what I ended up doing was actually creating more problems in my life till I got to the point where I was like, wow, I got to overcome this. So it's my honor to be able to share this kind of information with you guys. So the first thing, I'll give you just like one, well, I've given you a couple, but one real primary thing that you can do, and you're gonna wanna get out of this lane, babe, because it backs up because of the bridge. Sorry. Is actually just being very intentional about what you're doing. So no matter what you're doing in your life, there's gotta be a why, there's gotta be a purpose behind it. So if you're gonna sit back and you're gonna watch TV, and you're gonna just Netflix and chill or whatever, you should do that because you have an intention to get some rest and recuperation. I'm taking the bridge. Oh, okay, sorry. So you should have like a very clear intention about what you want to accomplish by doing this. Because if you don't have the intention, then you'll have like guilt around what you've done, and you actually don't even appreciate it and get the recovery time, like in that example. Because there is a time in our lives where we need that break, and then we need that kind of chill time. So if you're going to be intentional, you want to be well, no matter what you're going to do, you want to have an intention around it. So make sure that if you're going to take rest and relaxing time, you actually spend it resting and relaxing. It doesn't mean that an idea doesn't pop in your head. In fact, more ideas will pop in your head about things that you can change in your life, in the world, in your family, in the community, whatever level you want to play at, whatever place. I shouldn't call it level because they're all equally as important. And yourself is probably actually maybe a little bit more important. So figuring out what exactly it is that you would like to do and be intentional around that is super important. So if you are going to go to work tomorrow, even if you hate your job, be intentional about it. So I'm gonna go in, I don't like my job, I'm gonna just make an effort to try to find the things that I do like about it. Try to find, even if it's one or two things throughout the day. I'm gonna make an intention to be a really good coworker. I'm just gonna like ask everybody how their day's going and tell them how much I appreciate their work. I'm just gonna make that intention, and things will start to shift for you. So just be very, very intentional about whatever it is that you do. So, yeah, Ben, so definitely get some pretty bad advice from people around you. And that's not intentional by them, because they're not living intentionally, right? Most people do not live with an intention. What they live with is their belief system, which often is limited by their experiences, the outcomes that they've faced. And when you actually run into that, you have to be able to decipher, like, is this what they're telling me actually gonna help me get where I wanna go? Or is this actually gonna harm me? I got Leadfoot driving over here. This is great. There's a speed bump.
Guys, tailgating me.
So let him tailgate, dude. There's another lane.
That other guy was.
Yeah, this is one of those things we do all the time. As a reaction to the person that's behind us, we change our scope. And it's like, well, am I being considerate? Or maybe they're just not considerate. I don't know. So, Ben, with those things, it's like, there's a saying that I learned listening to a CD by the Global Information Network. And one of the most important things you can do is think about, who do I listen to? So you want to listen to the person that's like really good about health. Like right now, I'm working towards a 6-pack goal that I have by the time I'm 40. I'm not asking the guy with a big gut. I'm not asking the chef at the restaurant. I'm not asking the person that doesn't have a 6-pack. I'm asking the person that's had a 6-pack 10 times and what they did to get it. And that's the resume I'm following right now. If I want to make money, if I want to make more money, like last night, I sat down with a good friend of mine, Josh Bruno, and he's another self-made guy like myself. He's in real estate. He owns, right now, he just closed a deal on 1 million square feet in New Orleans. So guess what I ask him about? I ask him about land development and real estate development and how to get better about that. That's the conversation I have. He's also got a big gut. I don't ask him how to get a 6-pack. So we all have our skills, and it's a matter of like fostering that. So Ben, with those people that are maybe giving you bad advice, maybe don't ask them about things they don't know about. Ask them about the things they do know about, if they know anything about anything, right? If they're just full of opinions, then it's probably going to be counterproductive. But usually everybody, pretty much always, everybody has something they know about. So use that relationship to expand yourself with what they actually know about. So you can actually mine gold out of any conversation that you ever have. It's just a matter of picking the right topic and trying to make it relevant to you. So it makes it actually more enjoyable to spend time with them. You'll get more out of it. They'll get more out of it. You'll be able to give more of yourself because you're actually helping them. So it becomes a really exciting way to live versus when you're hanging out with people that are kind of bringing you down and you're talking about things that you're not going to do anything about, they're not going to do anything about. So it's really important that when you're with those people, that you really hone in on what their expertise is and talk to them about that. What is their real interest? What do they really know about? And if they don't seem to know anything, then don't talk to them about it. Just like take them for what they are, because everybody's there. What's up, Martin? What's up, Mo? I'm just answering some comments here, so guys, feel free to kind of jump in and tell me if this stuff resonates with you. Cool to have you guys on. Martin, I haven't talked to you in years, it seems like. And Mo, thank you so much for the holiday wishes there. So, Ted, feeling guilty surviving, not thriving. Ooh, I so remember those days, and it can be a really, it's actually paralyzing to be in that state when you're actually not only in survival mode, but feeling guilty about it. Feeling guilty about it's not going to give you the insights that you're actually going to need. So we all go through seasons in our lives, and there's times where like everything's going great and it seems like everything's running smooth, and I'm sure you've experienced this where like everything's in flow. And then there's seasons where it's like you can't get out of bed sometimes, or you just like can't get motivated. You don't have that drive that you had. So maybe you're just in a season where it's time to like to reflect and really make some considerations, right? And really kind of think about what your intentions are around your life, what your goals are, what you really want out of life, versus getting caught up in that day-to-day stuff, because that's where you get stuck, is, or at least for me and most people that I've talked to, is they get stuck when they're like doing that day-to-day and they're not feeling good and they're feeling frustrated or any kind of negative emotion. What happens is we make decisions that are really going to be debilitating and not helping us get past it. So one of the really cool things you can do in that situation is, if you really want to dissolve it, just honor it. Just realize you are where you are, and that's okay. Like, the fact that the sun shines on your face is love from a higher power keeping you warm. When you drink water, that's love from a higher power keeping you hydrated. When you see a smile on somebody's face, that's love coming out of that person projecting on you. And it may have nothing to do with you or may have everything to do with you. It's totally up to you to decide what that is. So what's a really cool trick that I like to play on myself, and we're all delusional, so I like to choose the delusion that serves me and helps me, is if somebody is coming at you in a negative way, then I kind of put it back on them, as that's kind of their stuff. And it doesn't mean you have to argue with it. Actually, a lot of times you don't want to argue with it. Just accept it. That's their stuff. If you're in that state where you're feeling guilty, you're not going to be proactive in doing what you want to do. So go find something that you find joy in. It can be the smallest thing. It could be just like taking extra time in the shower to wash your hair really nice, or actually taking time to blow dry your hair, which is something I hadn't done in a really long time. I just discovered the blow dryer actually recently and bought one now, because I was like dumbing myself down, or making myself smaller to make myself more relatable in some kind of weird way, because I've been an overachiever all the time. So I wasn't actually letting my light shine, because I had always been this overachiever, and anytime I wasn't, then that would be something I would avoid, or I would just try to dumb myself down so I didn't stand out. And that's something I've changed drastically, back to like my true nature. And the truth is, that's your true nature too. You are born for success. Like, you can have anything you want. The moment you set those intentions, the moment you start taking those intentions and put them into action, that is the moment things start to shift for you. Sorry it's so bumpy here, by the way. We're going down Pine Tree Avenue, which is a gorgeous street. All these great pine tree canopies, but the roots have grown underneath the road. So it's like kind of nature's way of saying, slow down. Chill out. So I don't know if that helps you or resonates you or anything with you, Ted, but go to the gym, go for a walk in nature, just look at things in a way that's very mindful. Even if it's your food, just be grateful for whatever food's on your plate, and just take your time eating and enjoy each bite. And as you do these little things, it's going to really amplify and carry over into other places. So if you look at the things that you do have, you might realize you're not in survival mode. Unless like you don't have food, you're not in survival mode, right? So if you can eat every single meal, or eat enough to keep yourself sustained, you are not in survival mode. It's just a feeling of being surviving, and then a feeling of guilt around it. So if you can find some things to be grateful for, that guilt starts to go away. And look at the ways that you do provide, because we actually do provide a lot of value for people. And even myself, like doing these videos and writing articles and opening racetracks, guess what? Sometimes I get into that guilt mode that I should be doing more, or that I'm in survival. I get into survival mode, and I get like this mindset, and it's up to me to actively change it. It doesn't like come natural for me. So I hope that resonates with you and helps you a little bit. What's up, Desiree? Nice to have you joining. I'm looking forward. By the way, guys, next week, Desiree, if you could post a link to the Union, next week, Desiree and Keith Palatano are going to be doing an interview with us on the Union on Tuesday, I believe at 12:15 Central Time, if I remember correctly.